What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Welcome to my late night vibes episode, y'all, because this is going to be a late night's upload. A lot of y'all are going to probably be sleeping while I'm recording this, so my goal is to put it up in the morning. So that way you can catch it if you're not going to be up tonight, because it's going to probably be super late by the time I get done recording. And I know a lot of y'all have to go to work tomorrow, y'all, but the good thing is tomorrow is Hump Day Wednesday. So let's just pray that we get through it. And again, I appreciate y'all. And hey, make sure you hit that like button as soon as you come on in, y'all. Wipe your feet off and welcome to the lounge. I appreciate y'all for being here. So, um, this is not my usual. I didn't do my theme music and, my wonderful, um, presentation like I normally do, because it's a late night vibe and I got to go directly into it and just get on with the content. So, just let y'all know I ain't changing up nothing. Just that if I know I'm on borrowed time, I have to cut all the extra theatrics out. You feel me? So let me get into this. I thought it was imperative that I talked about this, y'all, because I know the Cardinals are definitely going to feel some type of way. Just like the Barbs don't like when you talk about Nicki, just like the Beehive don't like when you talk about Beyonce. Listen, the Cardinals, meaning Cardi's birds, they get very defiant and they get very offensive anytime somebody does not support the um shenanigans that Cardi is putting out there. You feel me? Now, I will always say this. You can like someone's music, you can be a fan, but it does not mean you have to like their decisions. It doesn't mean you have to support um the decisions they make, basically, right? So just because I disagree with you, it does not mean that that's a personal attack. Somebody disagreeing with you does not mean that they don't like you. It just means they don't like the decisions or the choices you made. So, unfortunately, the Cardinals, they don't understand that. No more than the Beehive doesn't understand that everybody doesn't rock with Beyonce. Everybody doesn't like Beyonce's, music. Everybody's not a diehard fan. And they can't stand it. They can't stomach it. They go more hard for these celebrities than they do for Jesus, than God Himself. You feel me? And you have a lot of the Cardinals, honey. Um, they are not accepting the fact that they're being bamboozled, because Cardi's sales are not doing well, honey. Just like the booty dropping, the sales are dropping. Okay. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that I personally believe, this is my opinion, this is my intake. Anything I say in this video is based off of my own opinion. Okay. You can disagree without being disrespectful. I'm not calling Cardi the B word. I'm not dragging her through the mud. I'm just speaking my opinion. Okay. And if you don't like it, you're welcome to exit stage left. Okay. Versus the chirping, that most birds normally do, because I'm getting tired of these Cardinals. Okay. And I'm not the only one. It's a lot of content creators I notice have been saying they've been getting a lot of disrespect because they're not supporting Cardi with the fuckboy shenanigans. And it's a lot of content creators that are catching flack. They are going through it. The only reason I'm not going through it is hard because my fan base is not that huge. So my influence is not heavy enough for them to attack me. But I had a few of the Cardinals try to come for me, right? But if you haven't been noticing, I don't look at Cardi B just as a rapper and a performer. I look at her as a woman who has not given herself time to heal. I'm looking at the psychological, spiritual aspect, while the birds are just looking at, oh, she's with Stefan. Stefan is fine. He's rich, successful. A lot of these sisters don't think on a spiritual level. Everything they do, the way they deal, the way they reason with life, everything is surface level. They don't look at things from a deeper perspective. And this is the reason why I don't go back and forth with Cardinals, because all they see is Cardi's happy, she has a man, and she's divorcing Offset. They're happy about that. But my concern for Cardi B is she rushed into this situationship, because I can't even call it a relationship, because the man still has yet to claim her. And you women got to read in between the lines and know when a man is being careful with his choice words. When he says things like, I like how you ride for me. I like how you support me. Not, I like the way my woman supports me. I like the way my wife supports me. If you really, really pay attention and stop being a cardinal and use your common sense, the man is still not claiming Cardi B the way he should. Okay, and if you are a real fan of Cardi B, you shouldn't be happy with her ending up in another upset situation, an upsetting situation. We've witnessed the disrespect and everything she's going through with Offset. So the fact that you have these Cardinals campaigning and helping her to put herself in another crash dummy situation is bananas to me. Because a real fan or a real friend will be pulling her aside and be like, sis, look, I know you're still hurting. I know you're still healing. And I know so badly you want to prove that you are going to continue to strive. You're going to continue to elevate. But sis, you're going about it the wrong way. And although you think you're proving a point, in the actuality is you're proving how far an unhealed woman would go to destroy her own peace and sanity, you know. And my thing is, a lot of these cardinals, they're not reading in between the lines. Unless a man really officially gives you that title, you caping for him, cheering for him, that means nothing, because the truth of the matter is people are not paying attention to this man's patterns. They're not paying attention to his body language. They're not paying attention to the fact that he has multiple baby mamas. And it just proves that women today are really, really lost in the sauce. And I think what's going on is Black women, we so badly, because I think all of us in some form or another have been cheated out of many blessings that we felt we're deserving of. There's a lot of us who have had failed relationships, a lot of us who have had challenging marriages, a lot of us who was not blessed with the opportunity of the picket fence, the two-door parking garage, and all this American dream. So the moment one of our counterparts appear to be stepping into that appearance, and notice I said appearance of that American dream, we automatically support it, even if it's dysfunctional. You have women that are celebrating women getting a piece of man, because as the old saying goes, a piece of man is better than no man at all. Even if he has multiple baby mamas, we celebrate it. Even if he's already married, we celebrate it. You have women that will support other women with low self-esteem making jacked up decisions, because in the end, we want to see each other win. And I get it, but at the same time, we have to be in reality instead of being in the fantasy world. And the fact that Cardi, with all her fame and success and everything that she has gone through with Offset, to me, she went backwards. And the Cardinals is not going to see it that way, because y'all looking at Stephon as a millionaire. Y'all looking at him as this successful NFL player. All of that would have been great if it came with him not having multiple children from multiple women. All of that would have been great if he had the desire to want to be married and settle down with one woman. And don't think for a second, while Cardi B is up and down any and everywhere with him, that the baby mamas are not feeling some type of way. The more she keeps, running behind him, following him like a puppy to all his events and all of that. Now, let me say this, because before the Cardinals get mad, Well, that's her man. She's supporting her man. She has every right to to support him, um show all of her gratitude for his success and all of that. But while y'all look at it, and I'm just be honest with y'all, while y'all looking at it like she's supporting her man and she's just showing her appreciation and gratitude, I don't look at it that way. I look at it as a woman who's desperately trying to prove to a man that has several other women on his list. She's trying to prove that she's the one for him. I feel like all the extra theatrics, all the screaming, all the, all these videos going viral of her on the field, wilding out, yelling, screaming, doing the most, acting more like a groupie than, a supportive girl, whatever, right? I don't look at it like, she's so much supporting him. I look at it like I'm already in too deep. I have a child from this man, and I got to do everything I possibly can do to prove to him that I'm the one he needs to ultimately end up selecting, because I done got in too deep. And I have all of my fans supporting me, people rooting for me and this man to build together, to have something meaningful together. Not only that, I got to fight hard to prove my loyalty to him, because the last thing I want is for my ex-husband to get a kick out of this relationship not working in my favor. Not only that, my fans who are diehard, the Cardinals, I got to prove to my fans that I'm this bad bitch, that can stand on business and still can get any man I want, even though I still have not healed from the man that I planned on, building the future with. And she has to prove to her arch enemies, like other female rappers who she's not in good, terms with. She got to prove to them that, she's not out here suffering, that, she's in a good space, because I'm with this NFL player. I'm with somebody who has notoriety, who has fame, who has success. Basically, Cardi has a lot she has to prove. And at this point, she done went in way over her head. And she started that when she actually got pregnant from him and had a child. So at this point, there's no room for failure. So what I see is a successful woman who's fighting with tooth and nails to try to earn that number one spot with a man who has demonstrated clearly that he has a pattern of not committing, of not settling down with anyone. And Cardi thinks she has pretty girl privilege. And not only that, she thinks she has also her fame as another advantage compared to his other baby mamas. Now, make no mistake about it. All his baby mamas are beautiful women. And the fact that you have the Cardinals acting like Cardi is the prettiest woman he ever been with, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but all of his baby mamas are beautiful. And to me, the only hype with Cardi is she has more fame compared to the other baby mamas. She's not prettier, she's not more glamorous, she's just more well known. That's it. Okay? He has a type. All his baby mamas are beautiful. So, and we're going to talk about that too. It's a lot of this pretty girl privilege that's going on in the industry, and not even just the industry in general. Women who think because they're pretty, women who think because they are mixed, women who think because they are successful, they think that they automatically have a better advantage in getting a man to humble themselves to them because of the fact that they have the complexion for the connection, or they got the game for the fame. You feel me? So It's a lot of sisters around here who already done put themselves on a pedestal as to thinking that something they got compared to all other women who's basically uh, running behind the same man. They all believe that each one in their own mind believes that they have something the other one doesn't. Now, this is off the subject, but same thing with DMX. DMX, who unfortunately who passed away from a drug overdose, he had multiple baby mamas, and we're gonna talk about him. We're gonna talk about all the women too that he's dealt with too. Um, to this day, you have all his baby mamas that's still kind of at war with each other. And really, the only one DMX picked was 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. That was the only one he married and sincerely loved. And the rest of the baby mamas who came behind him, behind her, they're fighting like they the first ones to have ever had his love. They're acting like they're the first ones who have had his children, and DMX already had a full-term life way before these women came along. Now, it's not to say that a man can have these things with a woman from his past and not rebuild love and rebuild a family, and not um um just basically not rebuild a new life with someone else, and not love his new wife, his new companion more genuinely, because maybe it took him messing up to have to learn that as a man he has to conduct himself a certain way. So I'm not saying it's the case with everybody, but what I'm basically saying is you have all of these women uh, that are willing to make themselves look desperate to prove their loyalty. And I apologize to the Cardinals, but I feel everything Cardi is doing is all pick me moves. It's pick me moves. Okay. All of the other baby mamas, it's not that they can't afford to go to the NFL or the Super Bowl. I mean, Diggs is their baby daddy. Trust to believe, if they want tickets to go and support him, all they got to do is call me like, hey, I want to go to one of your games. I want to support, this and that. So make no mistake about it. The other baby mamas could be just as extra as Cardi, but I strongly believe Cardi B is being more extra because she has a lot to prove. She has a lot of eyes that are watching her, and we know Cardi B does not take lightly to people having an opinion, and that's why she's fighting so hard to try to make this situationship look more than what it is, because we know she can't handle public opinion. She will get on social media, crash out. We know these things about her. But let's get into a couple of other things, right? Before I kind of digress, okay? I want to talk about everything that has been surrounding Cardi, you know. And my thing is, I like Cardi, but I don't like the behavior, and I don't like the fact that she's become so fixated on this man that um she's coming off as this low self-esteem high school girl that's running behind this jock, this athlete, to prove that she's better than the other women. But again, it's my opinion. Okay. So that there are rumors and online chatter circulating, and I'm not here to confirm personal details. I'm just here to talk about patterns. What happens when focus shifts from self to chasing validation? And I really feel like she's chasing validation. So here's a couple of my bullet points that I wanted to address. Misplaced focus shows up publicly. Following a man's schedule while your own calendar suffers. Word has it that her tour sales are not doing well. Now, I'm not going to say that she's doing totally horrible, but it's not going as great as she had in mind. And even she has said herself that the tour is not really hitting like she expected. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that Cardi has not been on her grind. When she met this man, she lost her mind. And I know a lot of females that are like that. It's not just Cardi. They do good when they by themselves. But once they lose focus and get into a man, they start neglecting themselves. They don't go to the gym no more. They don't, do the things that kept them motivated and kept them ambitious, because they become so asphyxiated on trying to win and earn the approval of the man that they want to be with. So what tends to happen is they neglect other things that are important. I know some women that have gone so far as to neglecting their own children just to seek validation from a man she wants to be with. So some women don't have any limits to how far they'll go to try to earn a man's approval. If they not got to neglect their business, got to neglect their tours, do half-ass what's it called when you before when you go on tour and you have to practice, and do your dance, do your lyrics and all of that. They said she hasn't really been putting much time and effort into rehearsal. Yep, that's the word. They said she hasn't been putting much time and effort into her rehearsals, that she just been kind of like microwaving it, doing just enough to make it appear that she's taking her tour seriously. But as we can see, looks like she's putting more time into running behind him than focusing on her tour and rehearsing. Again, my opinion, this is what it's looking like to me. Okay. Preparation gaps reflect on stage presence and execution. A lot of people have been saying the performances are not giving what it should give. It's mediocre. And of course, the more people pay, the more they expect. So if your ticket sells anywhere from $250 to $300, people are really expecting a show, not amateur night, at the club in the hood. People want to see a real show. They want to see the real theatrics. Okay. They said even with her show that, like a lot of these celebrities, these rappers, they have like a theme that a lot of the fans go by. Like the Barbs, all of them wear pink, right? Represent Nicki Minaj theme as a Barbie. The Cowboy Carter, everybody wore silver, and nobody had to figure out what the theme was because these women have been promoting a brand, and a brand has been consistent. Cardi doesn't really have a consistent brand, so nobody really knew how to dress up or what kind of theme to go by because she hasn't really been branding herself where nobody can really identify her. The only thing she's been branding herself is being pregnant. I guess everybody will have to come, to her shows with fake bellies or something like that because it seems like she's more known for the controversy surrounding her life than her being an artist. So, no, if you think about it, she really does not have a theme or a brand that people could identify her with. So the Beehive, they know how to represent Beyonce's brand, and like I said, Nicki Minaj know how to represent Beyonce's brand, but she doesn't really have a brand. And even I think she went live and said something about she was trying to get help from her fans, like what kind of theme y'all think we should go by, or what kind of theme you think we should do, something like that. And I'm like, girl, if you was really branding yourself, you wouldn't even have to ask. You wouldn't even have to get an opinion on that. Everybody knows if you're going to see certain performers, you already know it's a certain way you got to dress, a certain theme you got to go by. And she hasn't really been marketing herself in a fashion in which people can attend her shows represent her theme. She doesn't have a theme for people to represent. Okay, so that's another issue within itself. Fans notice when energy and polish drop. Your audience feels it when you're not centered. I mean, everybody feels like this tour is microwavable. Now, she is making some bread, and to y'all, because y'all don't keep up with numbers and a lot of stuff like that, that's not the same amount of money that the label put out for her. The label put out a lot of money, and her sales is not receiving near the percentage that the record label, had contributed to her. So for instance, if the record label gives you $5 million, and just hypothetically speaking, but your tour, you only sell like 300,000 tickets. Now, to your audience, that seems like a lot. Oh wow, Cardi's doing so great on tour. She sold 300,000 tickets. Well, that's the bottom of the barrel. If the record label done put out 8 million, what is 300,000? Again, I don't know the exact numbers, but basically, her tours is not doing as well as the label had anticipated. So the labels are looking with a side eye like, we don't know about this. Now, if they start counseling, that's how y'all gonna know. For all the Cardinals, for anybody, hey, y'all just hating on her and she's doing well in your mind because you don't know about those numbers. But when it comes to labels, labels look at the revenue. And whatever they put out, they're looking for that back triple. If the label giving you 3 million for your tours and all of that, they want back 6 million. Okay, you're not doing no good if you only sold 1 million. Okay, it's not hitting on nothing. And from what we've heard or what has been mentioned, she hasn't been hitting on anything. And a lot of it has to do with because she's chasing behind this man. She's being the bird that she is, and she's flying behind him. Now, don't get me wrong. I had a bird moment. I chased after a dude that really wasn't checking for me, feeling me like that before I got married. And I had to realize, like, you know what? I'm way in over my head. I ain't had no kids or nothing from him, but you have to come to realization, like, I'm really into this dude. I'm overly displaying my love and my support, and he's giving me back mediocre. And everything Stefan is giving Cardi, the Cardinals are trying to hype it up, but what he's giving is very mediocre. Okay. Unreciprocated support is a loud signal. Support that flows one way drains momentum. The reason why the tour is not doing well and the sales are not doing well because Cardi has lost focus. She is flying behind that man. She flapping her wings behind that man. And of course, Stefan is egotistical anyway. If all his baby mamas wanted to be there to support him, he would embrace it. I don't think that Stefan is bringing Cardi everywhere with him. I believe she's inviting herself and pushing herself. She's forcing herself to be wherever he is. I don't see them pulling up together in the same limo. I don't see them flying in together on his private jet. Now, get it, granted, I will say this, because he does have to do a game, he's going to have to be there early. So, I can't 100% go off of that. But just the vibe I'm getting, she's the one doing the chasing. It don't seem like they are in on it together. It seems like she's following him everywhere he goes. And it's starting to drain how she is performing and focusing with her fans with her tour. Public silence versus public presence tells a story. If support isn't mutual, it's not partnership, it's pursuit. I get Stefan is a very busy man. And I know Cardinal's going to be like, well, he can't go on her tours and stuff like that. He has all of these games, he has this. Let me say something. When a man is really feeling you, he going to find a way. He going to make a way. This man is a millionaire. Now, he can't stay a whole week. He could catch a flight and go to one show and still leave and go back, whatever. One thing I know, a man, if he's really feeling you, no matter how tired, stressed out, or booked he is, he's going to find a way to support you. Period, point blank. Just like he went to see all his kids for Christmas and all this and that, whatever, a man is going to find a way for what he really loves. That's my opinion. Okay? Stroller love, performing loyalty, overshadowing devotion to secure position. That's what she's doing. She's trying to really up the ante, doing the most, on the field, screaming, yelling, trying to show all her support, her love, and her loyalty, because this is her way of trying to secure a position with him. She wants a solid position in his life. So she's going above and beyond to prove to him that she should be the main one that he ultimately ends up choosing. Not only that, don't think for a second that Cardi B isn't intentionally trying to piss the other baby mamas off. She wants them to know, I know y'all got his babies, but I am the main one. I'm the main baby mama. Okay. I'm the main first lady. I'm the driver of the bus. All y'all are just the passengers. She knows what she's doing. She's intentionally trying to make them baby mamas feel some type of way because she wants to also prove to them that she's going to be the final runner up in this whole situation. So don't think she's not doing this to be spiteful too. Okay, because women are women. Women do spiteful stuff. You know, they want to prove to the ex, you know, that there's not going to be a next. I'm the only one. I'm going to be the last woman standing, and she's doing this to basically rub it into his baby moms because she know it's several of them. So she has to prove to all of them all at once. And what better way to do that by going to this man's games, knowing everybody is watching, knowing everybody is going to be viewing. So she is also trying to prove her stance to the other baby mamas, okay? Um, Competing with other women instead of investing inward. Um, you're doing all of that, like I said, to prove that you should be the runner up, but at the same time, how are you really benefiting? Okay, we'll say you benefiting because you're getting the clout, but you've already had your own clout, so I can't say that. Uh, Financially, you make your own money, so you're not so much benefiting financially. I'm just trying to see what is he giving her that she doesn't already have. He didn't. He could, even though he gave her a child. Guess what? She already had kids. What has he given her that makes her stand out from above the rest? I'm trying to figure that out. And you can't say attention because it's not him giving her attention. She's giving him attention. She's the one going to all of his events and following him and running behind him. So I'm just trying to figure that part out. Confusing proximity with priority. Just because a man is close to you and constantly around you, it does not mean he's connecting with you. Just because a man laughs at your jokes, just because a man makes nice little gestures and he hugs you when you hug him. You have men who can be affectionate with you and not be connecting with you. You have men that can have sex with you and not even be connecting with you. You have men that just like your company. They just like being around you because you make them feel good about themselves, but it doesn't mean they want anything solid or fulfilling. So don't mistake proximity with commitment. I know I'm talking crazy, y'all, but it's late. But you can't mix or confuse those two. A man can be close to you and not know what be connecting with you. Career sacrifice for relationship validation. Trading rehearsal time for chasing reassurance. Girl, you should have been rehearsing. But no, instead you reversing. You reversing by going backwards, and you think you're going to be the pick of the litter. And he has several other light brights that are just as light skinned, pretty, and beautiful, and not more natural. I've seen those other baby mamas. They're beautiful, naturally shaped women. They don't have BBLs. Now the chef that he has to go to trial for or whatever, she has a BBL, so he may have a little thing with BBLs, but Cardi does not stand out from the rest other than she's more famous. Okay. And that don't mean nothing to him. It means something as far as helping him get that extra clout, but it's not like a deal breaker that's going to make him commit to her compared to the rest of them because he has his own fame, has his own success, but being with her just enhanced it. Risking brand equity for emotional certainty. She's willing to, take a chance with this tour flopping if it means in the long run she ends up with the ultimate Pookie prize, which is Stefan. Okay. And I think what's going to happen, the more she keeps fixating herself with him, she's not going to put a lot of energy and effort into her show, and it's going to reflect with her poor sales, which in turn is going to continue to make her motivation drop like her BBL. Her motivation is going to keep dropping as she sees that her audience is flopping. Like the more less and less the numbers get, her motivation ain't going to be there as strongly, and she's not understanding that your fans, they resonate with you. So your fans can tell when you're not giving it all your all, especially these diehard cardinals, these birds that keep chirping for her. No matter how much they defend her or go hard for her, even at some point they're gonna have to admit to themselves, damn, Cardi girl, we riding hard for you. And you is just giving us these microwave cold pizza performances. Because you're too busy chasing after this man versus chasing after your bag. Now, if he married you tomorrow, you could probably get away with flopping on your tours because he could help you pay back that money that the label is getting shortened of. But honey, y'all are not married for you to be making these solid for you to be sacrificing your career and losing your fan base and all of that because this man is not obligated to carry you because you're not his wife. So even if you end up doing terrible with the tours, it's not like he's going to be in a position in which he has to help you. I mean, yeah, he'll kick out some child support here and there, but basically you are still on your own. You and Stefan, y'all are together, I guess, if that's what you want to call it, but this man is still not responsible for you. At this point, you still got to make your own money. You got to make your own bread. Now, if he marry you tomorrow, then you can get away, with your finances going dry, your tour going dry because you'll be married to a millionaire who's going to offset whatever it is you lose, but you're not in that position. You're a baby mama. You're not a wife. So you got to depend on your fans, your cardinals, your ticket sales. You have to depend on your career because that's the only thing that's solid right now. Stefan is there, but he's not a sure thing. It's too early to call him the sure thing. Now the Cardinals, in their mind, they've already made themselves believe one baby later that he's the sure thing. As if women don't get pregnant all the time from men that's not even meant for them to be with. But anyway, that's another story for another time, right? Letting personal chaos bleed into professional output. No man is the prize if he costs you your purpose. Now, y'all, I don't know if y'all seen the video. I'm going to see if I can pull it up right quick, girl. When I say she has been crashing out to prove her love to Stefan, baby, I'm going to, let me see if I can show y'all because she got herself in another situation recently too. Let me see. Yeah, she crashed out on a little girl who had an opinion about something. Okay, this is it. So if y'all haven't heard, Cardi B also right now is experiencing some backlash from this recent episode. When I say she crashing out and she going down bad, this man really got her cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And I can't even blame Stefan. Cardi B is bringing this upon herself. But y'all, she PO'd a lot of people off with this. And this just happened recently. So I'm going to go ahead and play it for y'all. I want y'all to see. I want the Cardinals to see for themselves.
Fuck that bitch! I told ya! That little white girl said they weren't gonna win! Fuck that bitch! I told ya! I'm sorry, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to say that! Yeah. No. That's really underestimated the fact! That little white girl said they weren't gonna win! Fuck that bitch! I told ya!
Okay, so this is very disturbing. This little girl that you see here, she does TikTok videos with her dads, and you have a lot of people that are sports fanatics. And what the little girl did was she had two play toy helmets One was one team, and the other one was a Patriots helmet, which is Cardi baby daddy team. Okay. And what happened was the little girl picked up the Patriots helmet and she threw it. Like, in other words, this team is garbage. I'm going to rock with this team. Somehow, some way, Cardi B got a hold of the video, and again, because she's trying to prove her loyalty to Stefan, that she's this diehard, gonna ride for him no matter what. She put herself in a position in which she felt it was necessary to disrespect a child in that manner. Now, keep in mind, the father did get a hold of the video that Cardi had responded by calling this little girl a little white bee. Y'all heard it just now, okay? And he responded, "That's my daughter. She's 4 years old. This is a lighthearted, family-friendly video where she randomly picks football helmets. Please don't direct profanity towards a child." And he hashtag at I'm Cardi B. Now, she instantly knew she said too much and did too much and tried to play it off. I didn't mean to say that. I mean to say that, but damage is done. This is what happens when you're trying so hard to earn validation. You don't mind ending up with the humiliation, and that's what's going on. But had somebody talked about her children like that, it would have been a whole nother story. And the fact that you had the Cardinals that was coming hard, going after people who called her out on this, and she got upset. A lot of her Cardinals got upset. Everybody makes mistakes and all this and that. I'm like, no, calling somebody's daughter a little white bee, that's not cool. Let me see if I can find the actual whole video with somebody. Plays it from the beginning, so y'all can't say you only showing one part. You ain't showing the whole thing, because the Cardinals, they something else, honey. I ain't never seen so many black women in delusion in all my life. But these are the times we're in. Okay, this guy explains it pretty well.
Cardi B, what was that?
That little white girl said they weren't gonna win. Fuck that bitch! I told ya! I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, that was the classless Cardi B on her Instagram live in front of her millions of followers screaming, "That little white girl, F that little B." So what did that little white girl say that was so awful? What did she do? Well, she made this video.
No. Buffalo! 49ers!
That's it. That's what she did. Her and her dad make cute little videos where every single game she picks which team she thinks is going to win by picking the football helmet. And apparently when Cardi B's team won, she decided to hop on her Instagram live, and to a child she doesn't know, to a 4-year-old little innocent girl, she decided to scream to her followers, "F that little B." But then all of a sudden, Cardi, you had a realization real quick, and I could see it in your eyes. You forgot you were on Instagram Live and you couldn't cover it up. You couldn't edit that out. So you decided to immediately go, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. No, you did mean it. You knew exactly what you were saying when you said it. You just instantly realized you couldn't cover it up. You couldn't cover up the terrible things you said to an innocent little girl, and you tried to backtrack it. That's pathetic. And you know what's equally as pathetic? In the comments sections, you have grown-ass people saying things like this. "You put your child on the internet. You should know what comes with it. You use your daughter for money. You commercialize your daughter and expect it to go well." Are you fucking serious with these comments, people? So let me get this straight. Instead of siding with the dad and the daughter, be like, "Damn, that's really wrong to scream F that little B from a celebrity to an innocent little 4-year-old," some of you were siding with Cardi B and saying that's what you get for posting your kid on the internet. No. No parent and child deserves outright hatred thrown at them on social media over simple, cute little videos. You know what's really sad is the dad sent me that video, and he was telling me about how hard it is to see all the hate they're receiving online over a simple little football video that they made, and how him and his daughter use the NFL to bond, and he teaches her things like her colors, geography, and math when they watch the games and when they learn about the NFL together. The dad and his little girl over an innocent little video ended up on the dark side of the internet and have celebrities now saying F that little B to a 4-year-old girl off of a video they made.
Child, so as y'all can see, honey, this is what I'm saying. Crashing out at an all-time high. Now that you're with this man, your whole ego, your whole attitude has just really amplified. And again, um, this was brought to the attention of Stephon Diggs. They did mention her with this video, and he did reply that he would talk to her about that. So only they know how that conversation went. But yeah, and see, he better be careful because Cardi could taint his brand. So he better be mindful. Cause Cardi is doing too much, and I strongly believe that Stephon, even with all his shenanigans, he's probably a laid back guy. I think Cardi is going to be a bit too much for him. I think he's going to realize he done bit off more than he could chew. And I think Cardi B is already realizing she bit off more than she could chew. But at this point, she realized I have to make this look right. I can't fold. Even if I want to take it back, I can't. No matter how raggedy this is, I got to make it look legit. Okay? So either way, you could, I think two ends of this candlestick is going to burn this all the way on out. I just don't see this getting much further. I believe this relationship gonna crash out before it could even get up off the ground correctly. That's just my opinion. Let me also mention the other bullet points before I get ready to shut things down. The final prize illusion. Believing endurance wins the man. You got some women who feel like as long as I hang in there, Ariana Curry, shout out to her, I'm going to win the prize in the end. Even if I got to embarrass myself, even if I have to look thirsty, desperate, I'm going to win on the end. You have some women, they don't care how far they got to go to embarrass or humiliate themselves to ultimately end up winning the prize. Thinking patience beats boundaries. Long as I'm hanging in there, regardless of what, I'm going to win in the end. Hope and consistency turns into selection. As long as I keep standing by him, no matter how many baby mamas he has, no matter how many times he does not acknowledge me the way I acknowledge him, no matter how many times I go to all his games and he doesn't go to not one tour, I'm going to end up with the prize in the end. I'm going to end up with the Pookie prize possession. Selection isn't earned by endurance. It's offered by intention. Okay, so listen, if that man ain't feeling you the way you feeling him, you can hang in there for the long haul. You can throw all the pom-poms. You can show up to all the events wearing his favorite color, doing all these theatrics. In the end, you're still not going to get that win. Fans aren't blind. Ticket buyers clock effort. Her fans, the support is shown through the ticket sales. So the Cardinals can defend her all they want. People are catching on slowly but surely, and it's going to start reflecting through the ticket sales. Let me see. Loyalty weakens when excellence dips, Fans don't pay for potential, they pay for performance. So we'll see how long her fans stay on this roller coaster with her. This isn't about one woman. It's about how many of us shrink our brilliance, trying to secure somebody else's attention. How low we are willing to stoop, how low we are willing to bring ourselves, how far we are willing to embarrass ourselves to make sure we're the last man, woman standing, right? You don't win first place by racing behind someone else, ladies. When you stop chasing, you remember who you are and the right people will follow, okay? Another few points I wanted to address, right? I'm not speaking on private conversations or intentions. I'm speaking on patterns, public behavior, and relationship dynamics we've seen repeatedly. The proof is in the pudding, and I think it's imperative that we understand this. Cardi believes proximity, loyalty, and sacrifice is going to ultimately get her selection. But his patterns show comfort without commitment. Access without investment breeds complacency. When a man gets emotional support, public presence, and loyalty without commitment, there's no urgency to choose. Listen, you're doing everything that a main woman does. So why would he choose you as the main woman when you're already putting yourself all the way out there? It's like putting the cart before the horse. Effort decreases when benefit is guaranteed. Why commit when the perks are already secured? You gave him a child just like the rest of them. Only difference is you're famous, you're well known. What is it to where? What are you doing so different that's going to make him get to come to his senses and say, "Oh, this is the one. This is the woman I should choose. This is the woman I should be with." What is that? Because again, you're doing everything that a committed woman does. You're being his support. You're constantly everywhere he goes. That there's nothing for him to work. He's not earning anything. There's nothing for him to earn to make him want to take it to the next level. You know, men who, next point, men who want you don't need convincing. Selection doesn't require campaigning. You don't have to do all the theatrics if you're the one he ultimately wants to choose. Men who are serious make decisions quickly and clearly. If you're auditioning, you're not the lead, you're a contender. And that's what is giving. I couldn't figure out the word auditioning. Everything I'm seeing Cardi doing right now is straight auditioning. She's auditioning. She's trying so hard to win the lead role. That's the word, auditioning. Public support isn't the same as private intention. Showing up to games doesn't define being chosen. Visibility doesn't make you a priority. Presence doesn't make you it a partnership. Being seen with someone doesn't mean they see you as theirs. And that's what these cardinal birds, they're so dumb. They're thinking every time they see them together that means that's something meaningful. You know how many women show up on the scene to be with somebody and a man is not in a relationship with them? Okay? This is the thing. The only reason it looks like to the birds that Stefan is more into Cardi than the other women is only because of the fact the cameras are more fixated on Cardi because of her famous status and his famous status. It's not because there's a real connection or a real chemistry there. It just means that because they both are celebrities, public figures, the cameras are going to be way more on them. It does not mean, though, that there's something solid or something authentic there. It just means that they're going to get more publicity compared to him with the other baby mamas, okay? Pattern of non-commitment patterns. A history of non-inclusive behavior. The man has several baby mamas. Comfort with options, okay? He knows he has several options. Even she admitted to that. Lack of public claiming or future planning. Patterns don't lie. People repeat what's comfortable for them. He did not do anything different with Cardi B than he has done with the other women. And y'all can miss me with, they're together. He's around her more. No, she's around him more. And the cameras are going to follow Cardi around Stefan more than they're going to follow the other baby mamas around Stefan, because the other baby mamas don't have the same notoriety that Cardi has. Competing with other women lowers your position. Listen, I don't want to be the main chick. I got to be the only chick, okay? And that's just me. When a woman competes, she accepts a lower bargaining stance. Competition signals uncertainty about your own value. High value women don't compete. They choose, okay? Next is sacrificing your career for a man shifts the power. Neglecting your purpose to prove loyalty creates imbalance. The man becomes the center. Resentment grows quickly. No man respects a woman more because she abandoned herself. And there's been many women who have done it only to turn around and resent themselves and hate the man who they done sacrificed everything for. If he wanted final, he'd make it final. Commitment is decisive. Clarity is intentional. Silence is also an answer. Men don't stall on women they're afraid to lose. Amen. Stroller love is when a woman pushes a relationship forward by herself. Hope and effort will turn into selection. So not only is Cardi B in a struggle love, but she's in a stroller love. And just like you push a child in a stroller, that's what she's doing. She's pushing a relationship forward by herself. Hope and effort will turn into selection. That's what she's doing. Okay? You don't become the final choice by running harder. You become it by being chosen. A woman chasing commitment teaches a man he doesn't have to offer it. If loyalty had to be proven, it wasn't secure to begin with. Okay? No man is the prize of winning him costs you your peace, your focus, and your purpose. All right? So, y'all, as we go into conclusion of this, let me ask y'all something. Do you think that this is a balanced situationship? Do y'all feel that Stefan is going just as hard for Cardi as she is for him? Has Stefan really put a label on his relationship yet? Maybe I didn't hear it. Did he call her wife? This is the woman I plan on being with. This is the woman I want to be the future with. I don't want to hear I love her. I care for her. She's a good partner. I'm talking about, has he put a stamp? Has he signed, sealed, and delivered the label? Has he given this relationship a title? Okay. Do you think that they both are equally supporting each other, or she's the one that's supporting, showing most of her support towards him? That's what I'm giving. I don't feel like he's supporting her the way she's supporting him. And I would say for good reason. I would say this too. Stefan knows he has other baby mamas, so he's trying to be careful. Don't think for a second them other baby mamas ain't calling him behind closed doors and eating him up and chewing him out. You act like I don't exist. You act like you don't have kids over here. You act like Cardi's the only mother of your child. What about us? Why you don't show us around? Let me tell you something. He starts getting too much heat. We're going to know it, because slowly but surely, he's going to start bringing them other baby mamas out. Let me tell you something. Because Cardi B has made herself the ride or die, when he does do that, she's going to have to deal with it, because, again, she wants to prove to him her loyalty so bad. So if it means him pushing her aside just so he can give the other baby mamas that same equal amount of attention, Cardi B, to prove her stance, she's going to do it. She already did it. For Christmas, he couldn't come to her house. He went to the other baby mamas, and she you know what she did? She fell back because she feel like being patient is going to give her the ultimate prize. I don't mind being last if it's going to get me to win the main prize. That's what she's thinking. I don't believe he's going to marry. I don't see that. I believe he does care for Cardi, and he may have a love for her. But I think a lot of the Cardinals are going to be upset. I don't hear no wedding bells. I don't see them walking down the aisle. I don't see him getting on his knees to propose. I don't see that. Not for the both of them. That relationship was too rushed. It was too microwavable. She chose Stefan out of hurt, out of not healing from Offset. She ran into the relationship on a broken in a broken mindset. So she really didn't get the chance to really see Stefan clearly for who he was, because she was trying to run from that pain through Offset. Anyway, y'all leave your opinion below. Let me know what y'all think about this. Again, this is Mocha's Ladies Lounge Late Night Vibes. And I will talk to y'all later. And please leave y'all comment below. I want to know what y'all intake on this as well. If the Cardinals come in here talking real crazy, guess what? I'm going to boot them right on up out of here. So the Cardinals, if you're going to come in my comment section, you better come respectfully, or you're going to get deleted and get blocked. Y'all have a good one, and I'll talk to y'all soon.